I haven't done one of these in a bit of time. The Speakdoms, which is where I talk to you guys about, real life stuff and try to give some encouraging words. I haven't done them in a while, but I was looking through the comment section of a video and people were like, yo, man, where are the Speakdoms? Where are the Speakdoms? Because I think people like to hear me talk about this kind of stuff. So what I'm going to hope to do here is I want to start a series here on World of Geekdom called Saturday Morning Speakdoms. I had talked about this before. I never really got around to it, and that's my fault. I've had a kind of a rough couple of months here. I just moved into my new home, and it's it's not a new house, but the new place I live in, and it's a pain to move stuff and construct stuff, and I've had help from people like Hale Zion who came down to help me and other friends. But what I was going to tell y'all is, I haven't had time to really upload too much on this channel, and I regret that because I really love this channel because it lets me say whatever I want. That doesn't have to be about anime or Dragon Ball. And to me, these Speakdoms are the most important kind of videos that I put out because people have really been touched by them. So I'm going to try and do Saturday morning Speakdoms at least every 2 weeks. If not every Saturday, I'm going to try that just to give everybody some inspirational words going into the weekend. And it is Saturday morning here where I'm at in the East Coast of the United States of America. And if it's not Saturday morning, well, wherever you may be, hopefully I can get these out during this time. So what I wanted to talk about today, to kind of give people some inspirational words, is about temporary pain, short-term pain, long-term gain, or I guess you can say a message that I have to send to everybody. So at the end of a lot of my videos over on Geekdom 101, I always end the videos, well, not always, but a lot of times I'll end the videos by saying, today is just, if you're having a bad day, don't worry about it because tomorrow will be better. Now, when I say tomorrow will be better, I'm not saying that because I'm trying to just give an inspirational quote or I'm trying to make you feel better, even though that is an intent. That's not why I'm saying that. It's not just an empty, phony, motivational phrase. I say that because the way that the human mind works and the human body works and everything that we're all connected to, that's literally the truth in some ways. Now, obviously, there are days where you have bad days and then you have worse days, but not every day can always get worse. Say you have a really bad Monday, something bad happens to you, your girlfriend breaks up with you, your car breaks down, whatever. There's a good chance that by the time Wednesday comes around, yeah, you might still be affected by that, but it's not going to be that immediate pain. You know what I mean? That immediate annoyance with something bad happening in your life. Because human beings' emotions are kind of like elastic, like a rubber band. You stretch it out thin, and then they kind of bounce back. You know what I mean? There's been situations in my life where I thought I couldn't bounce back. And I know some of you guys have been in these situations before. I know you have. I've been through breakups. I have had my parents pass away, both of them. Before I even turned 30, I've had a lot of bad things happen and to my life. I've had friends of mine move away. I've lost a lot. At one time I was homeless, which I'm going to do a video about. I'm going to do a video about money probably in part of this series at some point because I want people to really understand some stuff that happened to me, but to inspire you. But it might seem like the world's coming to an end, and you have to understand that. Yeah, in some cases, things can get really bad. Like if you get diagnosed with a terminal illness, that's really hard to come back from. I've never been diagnosed with a terminal illness, but I have relatives and friends who were. And it's, like I said, my parents. And it's one of those things where it's really, it's hard. Because you're going to be in constant pain or constant fear of dying or whatever, fear of just being in pain. But in general, if you're not really diagnosed with that or if you didn't have an extremely traumatic experience happen in your life, whatever pain you're going through right now, whether it be you're having an issue finishing up your school or your college, or you're having an issue getting a job, whatever issue you're having, understand that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I mean that literally. One thing I don't like is when people say like these after school special BS inspirational things like, oh, don't worry, it'll be better. No, I'm being for real. It actually will be better. You'll feel better because you can't always be in pain. You can't. Now, obviously, there are those of us that have, depression, anxiety. There are people on medication for this. So there are extreme cases. Now, again, not everybody's like that, so I don't want to bring that into this discussion, but it's more so things that are going on in your life where you think that, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to me. Whenever you have an injustice happen to you, You know what I mean? Like a real bad injustice. You buy a new car and it doesn't work right. It breaks. You buy a new computer and it breaks. You build one, or whatever might happen to you. You know, you find this girl and she cheated on you. You know, whatever may have happened to hurt. It's going to hurt. But understand that eventually you will normalize. Like, your emotions are going to normalize and the pain will go away. So if you remember that, if you always keep that in the back of your head, and it's hard because we're humans and that's really, really hard. We're basically built to be emotional so that we can survive, you know, so that we can survive. And, you know, when you go through some kind of trauma, it feels like there's no way out. It feels like you're not going to find a way out, or you're doomed to fail. And, you know, you're not doomed to fail. At some point, things are going to get better. It could be the next day, it could be a couple of days later, but things are going to get better. Some good news will come into your life, whatever that may be. I assure you of that. I assure you. And the reality is that it won't be your last bad day, dude. You might have a bad day this week. You might not have another one for another month, but you're going to have bad days. Every human being walking the face of this earth has bad days, including those who are exceedingly wealthy, all the way down to those who are homeless, who are having probably many bad days. I was homeless, and I'm going to share this story with you. One of the things that has driven me to work so hard is my absolute fear of ever going back to the gutter again. I literally lost everything in 2008, 2009. And I was homeless for about 3 months. And I lost it all. And because of this, I have this weird work ethic where I have to do the best that I can at all times and conserve my money. I learned a lot. Trust me. I learned a lot about real life when that happened, because I was worried about it happening again, because it was very, very traumatic. You know, those of you who have never been homeless before, you know, you might get money here and there. And I wasn't like on the streets homeless. I had a place to stay, but it wasn't my home. I was staying alone in this empty like dojo. I was staying there alone, and it wasn't pleasant. There were roaches everywhere. I barely had any money because I had no job. And then what wound up happening is I wound up getting a job that didn't pay a lot. It was a very, very low paying job, and I worked there for a couple months to rebuild my my money. And then I wound up working for an IT company. That's where I started really doing okay, you know. But it took a few months there. I was in pain for a while. I was in pain for about 6 months. And before I even went homeless, I knew it was going to happen because I had no money to pay off my rent. And I just remember having so much anxiety, tremendous amount of anxiety, a huge anxiety attack, because I was scared. And every time that something happened to me, when I would lose my job or get fired after that, I would have that same anxiety, like, oh my God, I'm going to end up back in the gutter again. And it's one of those things where that's driven me to work. It's been a positive in my life, believe it or not. That negative that happened to me became a positive. In fact, I was actually diagnosed with PTSD. You know, excuse me, I went to therapy last year and the year before to kind of find out some of my issues. You know, find out what's wrong with me and why I act a certain way, why I'm so defensive sometimes. You know, some people actually think I'm an asshole, which, I mean, if you think that, sorry to hear them, you don't know me. But that being said, maybe I have been an asshole in the past because of me being very defensive. You know, I'm very, very defensive of my image and of how I feel about myself. Because I don't want people to get the wrong idea about me. And that's become a negative because I'm really, like, you know, defensive, like I said. And at the end of the day, you have to sit down and just sit down for a second and just realize, okay, it's not that bad. Like, yeah, your girlfriend may have broken up with you and it sucks, but she ain't going to be the last girl you date. Or vice versa. If you're a girl, you have a guy friend, or whatever you are, gay, it doesn't matter. She probably won't be the last person you date. You know, I've had friends of mine tell me, oh, I'm going to be lonely for the rest of my life. And you don't know that. You don't know that. You don't have a crystal ball. You don't know. What if in 2 weeks you meet a girl randomly at the gas station and she's really pretty and you hit it off? Like, you don't know. You don't know that. Or what if the girl you like for a long time reciprocates? You don't know. So you can't sit there and just be all gloomy and think the world's coming to an end. But if you do think that way, I've been there. In fact, I still go to that dark place sometimes. You know, I worry about, you know, going back to IT. You know, I have my engineering degrees. I don't want to go back. I like what I do now, but I worry about it. You know, I think about it. And it has affected me. It really has. And I'm sure people out there are just like me. I'm sure some of you guys have to be in a similar situation. Leave your stories down in the comments if you have them. And so what I want to tell y'all is it's not that bad. Trust me, it's not that bad, and the pain will not last forever. Tomorrow is a better day. Tomorrow is a better day. If you're having a bad day, remember, the day will end. Everything has a finite time. And then tomorrow you can rebuild. You can fix your problems, fix whatever issue you're having. Don't forget that. And I think if we always remember that, like if you're out there right now, you struggle with this. If you're out there, you struggle with this, get a one of those little yellow sticky notes and write on there, pain is temporary, or write, tomorrow will be better. So if you're having a bad day, and stick it on your monitor or something, or on wherever, put it in your phone if you want to, on the back, whatever you want to do, just to remind yourself that if you're going through pain, tomorrow will be better. And it's just that, and that's the truth, because like I said, it's not even me trying to just encourage you. It's how emotions work. You'll balance yourself out. That anger and that sadness will become motivation, hopefully determination, or maybe even creativity. How many singers have taken their pain into music? How many of y'all out there want to be musicians or artists? And you draw a comic book or a manga, or you write a novel about your pain. You take a character, you take a character, right? And you basically are writing your story through that character. Millions of people do that. Well, maybe not millions, but thousands. Music. I mean, how many sad songs have been written about every kind of breakup or every kind of trauma? See what I'm saying? People take that and turn it into art. That's the right thing to do at some point. Obviously, you can't do it right away. But at some point when you get better, you're going to feel driven to tell your story. Or you might not. I mean, everybody's different. So just remember what I'm telling you. If you're having a bad day, tomorrow will be better. If you're having a bad week, every week will not be bad. I assure you of that. There are good weeks and good days. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day. And I'll see you next week with the next Speak Them. But I'll have videos in between, because I'm probably going to do a Captain Marvel spoiler review. Maybe. I haven't decided yet. But I'm doing these every Saturday for now, so I hope that you guys, really, really enjoy it. And I hope that somebody out there takes something from this message. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.